Okay, welcome guys. So today we are doing a card reading to bring through some wisdom from your higher self, from the other world. Now of course this will be a collective, in quotes, reading, but it's something that the cards that I use are very beautiful because they speak of timeless wisdom. Okay, now for some of you, you may never have actually experienced me doing something like this, and that's because it's the first time I've done this in this format, but I have been doing card readings for about 8 years now. It's something I enjoy to do because it's good to have coaching where we bring our own thoughts and wisdom through, but it's equally powerful to bring the other world's input in as well, and that can be done through meditation, through bringing the cards through. So what I'd like you guys to do, if you're watching this, find a nice relaxed place to sit. I'm going to take a few deep breaths just to bring ourselves into the present moment. That is also a timeless piece of advice. So find a nice, relaxing place to sit. Now, I like to burn sage and my charcoal discs with a little bit of frankincense, but it's not necessary. These to me are just enjoyable external activities, but the purity, the protection, whatever it is you would like to orientate yourself with, that's an internal thing, and so that's something we do to create a space of wisdom and light. For me, I always go to a place that is just complete light, and that's where I get most of my information from. So I'm going to burn a little bit of sage, get yourself into a nice relaxed position if you're not already. And what I would like you to do is take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, I would just like you to relax. Allow yourself to be in the present moment, because even through breathing we can still be elsewhere. So just bring yourself into the present moment through your breath. Just take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just relax yourself. So I'd like you to keep doing that for a couple more moments, because whatever comes through in this reading today, I hope, and we will set the intention, but there's no pressure, I hope that it will provide you with what it is that you need during this chapter of your life. Any information, any thoughts, any wisdom. These cards truly are beautiful cards. They really do come through in a wonderful way. So what I'm burning here is a charcoal disc. It's what I like to sprinkle a little bit of resin and incense on, and that really creates a beautiful atmosphere to be present with. And obviously this little cauldron of mine is my absolute joy. It's the simple things in life. I've had it for a very long time. It's very weathered. Something I enjoy very much. So I'll just encourage you again, remain nice and present. Now, another thing that I do within these card readings is I pull the cards and I bring through my own thoughts, but I do read the paragraph that comes from the book, because it's written with such beautiful information and such beautiful wisdom. So wherever this is posted, I'll make sure that I pop in the comments or in the description the cards that were listed so that you can have a look for yourself. So we'll get started just shortly. Just going to place a little bit of resin. This resin I've also had for about 5 or 6 years, so it's certainly done the journey, shall we say. So today I have all sorts of different cards, but my old reliables, the ones that I will always use for the rest of my life, the very first things that I was introduced to on my spiritual journey, were these ones. And these are my Sacred Path cards. So you'll see here on the camera. And these cards, honestly, have always had phenomenal synchronicities. I've done Kiva spreads, which is a full life spread. It's something that people have done. Ironically, I had about 16 or 18 different spreads on my website, and this was the one people chose the most. When I first posted them, all 5 people in quick succession chose the Kiva spread. And it's quite a long session, but it certainly brings through some fascinating wisdom, and usually every card leads on from the next. So remain nice and relaxed, and you can ask Great Mystery, Infinite Spirit, God, all that is. You can ask for wisdom and information to come through that will help to support you. So what I'm going to do, I'll set the intention into these, that we bring through something of great support for this current period of our lives. And so I fan the cards so that I can make sure I'm feeling into which one wishes to come forwards. Some people are much quicker and they can just pull cards. Maybe we'll get to that point. But right now, I'd like to be fully present with you during this session, this reading. I hope the music is pleasurable to you. I've put myself in a little corner playing my flute so that you guys can enjoy that whilst this is going on. And so this is all about just letting go, feeling when the energy hits. And this has always been my go-to method of bringing forward the information. And I hope that you're just taking this time for you. This is, yes, a reading to bring through the cards, but also it's an opportunity for you to take a breath. This is advice that I certainly need to hear at times. In fact, almost every day I need to hear that advice, because I move at a very quick pace when I get going, and it's not always the healthiest ways of being. You know, it's something that I certainly have to learn to pace myself, because I do work at 1,000 miles an hour, and it has its benefits. But taking a moment is also vitally important. So we're pulling 3 cards today, plus one of the cards from my medicine animal deck. Yeah, it's there. There we go. So something that I do, that I taught myself, that everybody can do, is channeling. And channeling is a beautiful practice to get in the habit of, as long as you make sure that you are truly sovereign within your being and you cannot be have anything interfere with you. As long as you're truly sovereign within your being, you can open up the doorway to connect and allow energies to come through to complete a task in the way that resonates with you. For example, I want to pull through the wisdom that's going to truly help you and me in this session. So I let myself go so I can bring it through. So stay nice and relaxed. There we go. Thank you. That's the card. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our cards over so that we can see. Now, my cards do not have a contrary or a reversed position, so I am going to bring them round. And now this is already very profound. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my thoughts on these cards, and then we'll read what Jamie Sams, who's been coincidentally alive, she's passed now I believe, even when she was alive, she was a guide for me in many ways. So what we have here is the Cradleboard, Peyote Ceremony, Dreamtime and Grouse. Now Grouse is something I will read because off the top of my head I cannot remember the representation. What we're getting here is the ability to respond, new abilities, and unlimited vision. We are at a period of time on planet Earth where there is truly a great shift. What's happening externally is pressing the people in a very strong way. So whereas before, sort of rules and regulations and things could be pushed to people, and there might be a little bit of grumbling, but people would normally accept it. What's happening now, as well as the period of time we had before, is people are rejecting it now. Okay, a lot more people are getting to the point where they're saying, enough, this is not how I wish to live. I will not live this way, no matter what happens. So, during this period of planet Earth, there are people, human beings, who are, I don't like this term, but rising up. They are coming up. They are beginning, like a seed. A seed has been planted many years ago, and the more it grows, as it goes through that darkness, it then enters into our world to show itself. I would like to liken this to a sunflower. You know, the sunflower grows and grows as a seed, it breaks through the surface, and then it displays itself with great beauty on the surface. And I feel like that's what this is bringing forwards, is that for a lot of you, myself included, we have been going through the challenges, going through the darkness, going through the difficulties, and now we're getting to the point where we're breaking through the surface and it is time to show ourselves. Because just like the period of time before, a lot of people were encouraged to become public, to put themselves out there, to share things. And I feel like that's what this is saying now, that it's now the time, the ability to respond. Okay, so if you're a light worker, empath, again, I'm not fully connected to those words. It's not particularly something I call myself. Somebody did say light keeper in one of the posts that I did, that they called themselves a light keeper, which I find very profound. But just like the light of Albion, to do with here in Britain, England, Albion, and the rest of the world, it is about you starting to shine, to put yourself out there, not to be afraid of the opinions, not to be afraid of other people shutting you down, not to be afraid of what other people will think of you. Because the truth is, or should I say, a really important thing to understand is that the more you embody who and what you are, the more you resonate on a certain level, people will drop off. People will fall off. People will think you're a lunatic. I know for a fact that people from my past will think I'm an absolute idiot. A lot of people will think that way. A lot of people will have strong opinions about me. A lot of people will think that what I'm doing is lunacy. They will think that the old me and the me now, something is flicked, you know, and I've lost my mind. But the truth is that as a young boy, I was very observative, astute to the things that were happening around me. I didn't resonate with the stuff that was happening, and that led me on a path of, should we say, rebellion, but also observing the world and saying that this isn't right. Okay? So, and it's curious because I'm looking at the cradle board, and it is, in native Indian culture, it was carrying the baby, right? The papoose carrying the baby. Okay, so now it's about us coming out of our sort of hiding and maturing. Okay, so this really is speaking to me about both of these cards here, all of them actually. I'm not sure about grouse yet, but all three of these are speaking to me of maturing. Okay, so this is not just maturing in the going from a childhood to adulthood, or going through the rite of passage to becoming an adult, but actually maturing in spirit. Okay, maturing in spirit, because now's the time. I mean, the time was 10 years ago, but now's the time. You know, that old adage that the best time to plant a tree was 50 years ago, the second best time is right now, you know. So the best time for you to do what you were doing 50 years ago, even if you're 20, 50 years ago, okay? The second best time is right now. So I know that a lot of people can really struggle with actioning, with doing 1444 and getting things out there, and that's okay. You know, the world is not set up for us to have the perfect sort of situation to do what we need to do. However, now is the time to find that ability to respond. Go within yourself and ask yourself, what is it that you want to do? How do you want to do it? And bring it forwards. Okay? And those questions, right? Having a book that I'm revisiting at the minute is Think and Grow Rich, and I recommend anybody, even if you don't want to read the book, type in Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, the process. Okay? It's a beautiful process. At the very least, it will definitely set you on the right course. It's important for you to find what it is that you want to do and share, and then go out and discover those abilities that you need to embody to move yourself on that journey. Right? Remember, now is the time for people to start to come up, whether it's simply being a beacon of love, whether it's being a beacon of questioning, right? Being a sage and questioning the way things are, because a lot of people need that. They need to be shown. Someone says, "Oh, this is how it is," and you say, "Is it?" Sometimes it's as simple as that. Okay, so new abilities. Over my life, I've gone through a process of learning how to do online marketing and stuff like this, recording videos, webinars, email marketing, all of these new abilities that came to me when I was a lot younger, about 21, 22. I was learning to channel, right? New abilities. Learning to meditate, new abilities. Learning to train in the gym, new abilities. New abilities really is about developing yourself, okay? You're here for a reason. You are a seed, you were a child, and you have been growing. You've been growing as a human, growing as a seed, shall we say, sunflower, whatever metaphor resonates. You've been growing, and now you're reaching a stage of maturity, right? But that maturity can only be embodied if you embody it, right? That's the way it works. You gotta go out there and explore it. And the dream time, 33 also being a very powerful number, unlimited vision, okay? This card is a very profound card, and it is asking you and me and everybody on this planet to broaden our vision as far as you can go, right? To me and to my brother Michael, Lucas and Annie, our vision is the restoration of this entire globe, every square inch of this planet being restored back to its pristine origins, forest gardens, nature, human beings, the works, everything. We're not just talking about local communities getting 4 acres and doing whatever. We're talking about millions of acres of land. Millions of acres of land being restored so that nature and the system of divine sovereignty can be restored, right? The system of divine sovereignty being restored. That is the broadness of our vision. Now, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, they can cast a powerful energy out there to do that. But you get 10,000, 100,000 people doing that, we're talking an entirely different ballgame. Okay, we're talking about something entirely different. So, dream time. And this is really like when we talked about Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, this is included in that. Where do you want to be in life? Is it, okay, brand new car, Aston Martin, massive house? Great, if that's where you want to be, then go for it. But, do you want to see the world restored as a beautiful forest? Do you want to see planet Earth brought to its pristine origins with love and compassion, and I will say the word light, because that's about wholeness and unity, right? Light is the all-encompassment, it includes all the colours, right? It's the all-encompassing singularity of all that is. So go through the process of thinking about what you want, then think about how to get there. Ironically, this is very much Napoleon Hill, right? New abilities is acquiring those new abilities, and broaden your vision. Broaden your vision as far as you can go. I'm talking in terms of total global change, etc. It might just be in your own life. You might be fed up with where you're at. Broaden your vision, right? Dream time. Thank you. Dream time and tapping into those lucid states. If you ever heard about Neville Goddard, he will talk about the state akin to sleep. Well, that's right before dreaming, right? That's being in this world and in the other world. That's in between, right? That's what the dream time is speaking of. And you notice the gentleman is meditating, okay? So we're talking about being in between. So all of you see how they weave into each other? I haven't even read the book yet. I did say I'd read it, but I don't need it. But I'll read it. It's very powerful. But this is what this is about. Unlimited dream time. It's about finding out where you want to go, discovering the abilities that's going to aid you, because there are tens of thousands of us that are wanting land and to get started. So my point on video the other day is, what new abilities can you start to foster? What can you learn? What can you do now that isn't Netflix or TikTok or doom scrolling, right? What can you do now in alignment with that unlimited vision, in alignment with deciding where you want to go, the ability to respond? What can you learn now? Okay? So, I apologise, my expertise is not infinite. I've had these cards a while, but I always like to go back to them. 34 grouse is 173. 173, too far. There we go. So grouse represents the sacred spiral. Okay, this is a sacred spiral. And what I would like to do here is I would like to read to you the bottom parts. So if you have grouse medicine in your cards, undertake a meditation. I apologise, I'm laughing here, but what did I just say? Right, you see how profound this really is. This gentleman's meditating, unlimited dream time, casting your vision out to see how far. What do you see? You're an infinite creator. You are all that is God, the universe, in a fractal human form, undiluted. You can envision whatever it is you choose to envision. So, do it. On the various qualities of movement within your world, begin by visualizing the sun. Now this is beautiful, because the card that I pulled for myself today, I hope this is clear. Apologies, just realised my camera storage had run out, so I will try and sync this up. But one of the cards here, I'll show you here, was the sun. Okay, that was the card that I pulled for myself earlier. So, I'll just go back over that. If you have grouse medicine in your cards, undertake a meditation on the various qualities of movement within your world. Begin by visualising the sun as one member of a huge group of stars, swirling in the massive pinwheel shape of the Milky Way. Then draw yourself out of this pinwheel of light and into the spiralling of your own DNA's double helix. An arrangement similar to a rope ladder coiled like a corkscrew. So this is again the spiral dance, or the sacred spiral, which there's a lot of the rainbow wheel, if I'm not mistaken. Whirling rainbow is another part of it, and that's actually depicting the Big Dipper going around the North Star, which is about the seasons. Very powerful. Analyse the way you move through your world. How do you picture yourself in the act of locomotion? What kind of reaction do you create with the energy you send into the universe? So see your ability to respond? You see how these cards are just filled with magic? Because talking about the reaction do you create with the energy, we just talk about the ability to respond. Well, if we're reacting, we're out of control. If we're responding, we're in control. And that's powerful. What words would you use to describe the way you move through both the material and spiritual worlds? In the final analysis, is your movement compatible with your greatest desires and goals? So you see how crazy this is, that again, this is literally speaking about exactly what we talked about here. This is about understanding how you move through your world and where you want to go, and that's the ability to respond and new abilities. Okay, so it's asking you to identify, how do you move through the world? What do you want to accomplish, and how do you get there? Is your current behavior, is your current mentality and thought process in alignment with that? Okay. Many spiritual disciplines ask that you cease all external movement in order to recognize the inner life. Okay, this is again unlimited vision, meditation, dream time. Grouse medicine, however, is an invitation to the dance. Grouse celebrates the divine source through its sacred spiral dance and offers this dance to you as a gift. You can spend a lifetime learning Grouse's lesson on how to harmonize your dance with Mother Earth's cycles and how to offer the dance as a creation of selfless beauty. So one concept that I will share within the Seth books talks about creative time. Okay, and creative time is understanding that most of our society, if not all of it, works on rational time or third dimensional time, where we set ourselves all of these things on where to be and how to be and what to be, etc. Whereas the creative time says that we do it on our own terms. You know, and this is why I've had long periods of time where I've not posted anything, because it's not felt right, and I've not had the energy to do it, and I've been focused elsewhere. You know, so this is very much speaking of creating that time on your terms. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these 3 cards, and like I say, perhaps I'll try to find a space to put the image up on here, where you might not be able to read it, and then we will bring our session to a close. So the first card we've got here is the Cradleboard, which is 27. Cradleboard says that the papoose you are carrying is your future. Ironic. If you wish to influence it, you must respond now. This is what we were talking about, the state of the world, and now it's time. You know, the seed coming up, the sunflower, it's time. Whatever your situation, the ability to respond is called for at this time. The warrior side of your nature has the courage you need. Don't sit and wait for someone else to do something. So again, what we were talking about. Get started now, even if it doesn't look like it's happening. Use your creativity, speak your truth, and respond. You are being reminded that it is your responsibility to find your own answers and act upon them. Sovereignty, lightworker being, connection, your divine connection, dream time. Whether it is a past, present, or future challenge makes no difference. You can respond in a way that will promote your growth. Look at how you can use your personal medicine to respond to the situation and how that action will make you grow. You have the ability, so now you must recognize it in the self and use it. So this is really just speaking about everything we've talked about. It's about recognizing where you want to go in the future and taking action now. Now that can just simply mean about learning what you need to learn and growing in the way that you need to grow. Okay? So number 4 is peyote ceremony. If the water bird has flown your way, that's a good way of doing it actually, has flown your way and brought you the peyote ceremony card, you are being asked to recognize your immortal spirit. This is what we were talking about. Light workers, beings beings who have come here to do the work, you are immortal. Everybody's immortal, but it's recognizing that. Look to the crack in the universe for new ways to develop the abilities that can enhance your growth. Remove any denial that keeps you from developing new skills and use the talents you have to the fullest. The peyote ceremony card puts you on notice that opportunities to discover the self and for expansive growth are now possible. You are never as limited as you believe you are. The resources of the true self are filled with potential. Conquering limitation created in the mind will allow you to discover these new abilities and know that all goals are possible. Remember that the decision to attack your fears is the beginning of the sacred path. And what did we talk about? We talked about in the beginning of this that many people find themselves paralyzed because of fear, because of not getting beyond that initial stage, right? We talked about the change in the world and what people have been going through. Well, now we're getting to the point where people are going to bypass that because they're going to say, no thank you, not anymore, and they're going to move beyond. This is your opportunity as well. I'm not saying you're afraid, I'm not saying you've got any of these things, but if it resonates, now is the time. And the final card, which we opened immediately to, is the dream time. So here we have, if the dream time has called to you, you are being asked to see with unlimited vision. Wipe the dust from your eyes and pay attention to the messages you are receiving from the parallel universe. I call it the other world. Our world is pregnant with possibilities. All time is now. You are a co-creator in the two worlds and will be given unlimited sight and knowing if you ask for it. This vision may come in a sleep-time dream or through out-of-body journeying. It will give you the insight that you need at this time. Unlimited vision allows any seeker to pierce the veil of unconsciousness. So this is what we're talking about again. People rising up, beginning to do the work. This is maturing. I'm not saying you're unconscious, but all of us have experiences of some things. This is really about awakening even more. And I've been doing quite a lot of content on this recently. And come to an inner knowing. In all cases, this card marks a time of seeing truth on all levels of creation. You are now being given the ability to go beyond the accepted reality. The cocoon is open. Trust yourself, your allies, and your medicine. You may now take flight. Now the key to that part there is you are now being given the ability to go beyond the accepted reality. Now most people have accepted that things are the way they are and there's no way to change it. This is saying, as we were saying in the beginning of this session, is that the change is now. And we are the ones, everybody on the planet, but if you're watching this video, this is for a reason. We are the ones that have to ask ourselves the question, what does our future look like? What do we want it to look like? And where are we going? So, I hope that you enjoyed this session. Now, bearing in mind I will have had to over-record a little bit because I recognised that I ran out of storage, so it might look a little bit dodgy, but I will have put a disclaimer in the beginning of the video. If you would like to have a more personal reading, I do offer them. You can check it out on my website or drop me a message. And in any other cases, I hope that this resonated and helped you. If it didn't, that's totally fine. And I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time to be with me today. Take care of yourselves, my friends, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.